participating to this community forum for the Bridgeport Board of Education. Just for anyone who needs translation, Ms. Martins from the Bilingual Foreign Language Department is sitting right there at that table. You can go over to her table and she will assist you. My name is Mike Testani. I am the Director of Adult Education for the Bridgeport Public Schools, and I'll be your moderator for this evening. Again, I want to welcome all of you. And before we get started, I just want to go over a few items regarding the forum and how it's going to run. We will have 3 presentations this evening. Each presenter will have a 15-minute window to present their platform. And then there will be a 25-minute timed question and answer for the public. At the end of the 25 minutes, we will move on to the next topic. And at the end of the session, we will then dismiss. I just want to go over a couple of ground rules. Everyone's going to respect everyone's speaking. So when someone is speaking, please do not yell out. Please do not talk over. Again, I've been in this city a long time, born and raised, still live in the city. I don't want to see your message or your point be overshadowed by inappropriate behavior. So I think that's important. I will warn you if things start to get a little bit out of hand. And after this, there will not be a second warning. We will have security escort you out. I do not want to have to go that route. I want this to be a positive experience for everyone. So at this time, I will introduce Mr. Jim Denton and Lieutenant Greg from the Security and Police Department.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Jim Denton. I'm the Supervisor of School Security. I work with Lieutenant Greg in regards to keeping our schools safe and secure. Tonight we're here to discuss the FastPass system, which is a computerized registration system that is used at the entrance of the school building. This system was purchased through a grant that was written after the Sandy Hook tragedy. And so tonight we are here to really explain the details and the process of the system. I think the best people that can explain that are, we have some reps from A+ Security. We have Michelle, we have David, and we have Peter, who can come up and provide the 15-minute explanation of the system, what it can do and what it cannot do. After that, myself, Lieutenant Greg, and the A+ Security people will be available for the questions. After the 25-minute question period, we will still be available for additional questions over here in the corner, and there is also the actual system is there for everyone to view. So at this time, I'll ask the A+ Security reps to come on up, and I'll give you the floor.
Thank you, Jim. Good evening, everyone. Board members, staff members, parents, family members, and students. Thank you for having us here this evening. I am Michelle Sametta with A+ Technology and Security Solutions. I am joined by my colleagues Peter Newman and David Antaro. Peter Newman, one of the directors of A+ Security Solutions. David Antaro.
Excuse me.
We are system integrators working with the city of Bridgeport to help improve security in many of the schools and the safety of its students. We are here tonight to address many of the concerns, and in some cases, misconceptions that have been raised about the FastPass visitor management that is being deployed in some of the schools.
If you're going to hold up a sign, you can kind of be respectful of the people that are sitting behind you. You all want to kind of go to the side. You can't see the speaker. Just have some respect for everybody. Please have a visual of the speaker.
Thank you. At A+ Technology and Security, it is our goal to help protect students and to ensure that schools are safe for all who attend and visit them. We currently work with over 100 school districts and help to protect thousands of students, teachers, staff members, and parents each day across New York, Connecticut, and the Northeast. As parents, the members of the A+ team share many of the same concerns of those of the parents of children who go to your schools here in Bridgeport. Parents must voice their concerns when it comes to school and student safety, and become informed with what can help protect your children. We welcome this discussion because we want parents to understand and to be comfortable with the solution. Last week, inaccurate information was reported by the media about this proposed system. Information gathered from websites about the FastPass system was not accurate because it was not based on the specific solution that is being provided to the Bridgeport schools. We have provided to the board and audience a fact sheet that was handed out, outlining what the FastPass system for Bridgeport can actually do, and more importantly, what it does not do. The system uses technology to keep your children safe. It is not Big Brother. The system is managed and maintained by your school staff only. The police do not have access to the system at all. Information is not shared with the police. The system only validates information that schools already have in their possession. The system does not obtain more than first name, last name, and the date of birth from a proper photo ID. The system allows for a manual process for any visitor that comes into your school that does not have proper photo ID. The system searches the visitor's name and the date of birth against a federal sex offender watch list only. This is public information and not a law enforcement database. Also, there currently are over 400 registered sex offenders living in the city of Bridgeport. Systems like FastPass have kept over 2,000 sex offenders from entering schools across the nation. The system does not do any form of criminal background checks. The system does not check or monitor citizen status of any parent or visitor. The system does not check DMV or driving records of any parent or visitor. The system does not provide information to the IRS, to your state or local taxing authorities, or any other law enforcement agency. As a matter of fact, no information collected by this system is shared with any government authorities without the approval of school administrators or the Board of Education. Policies regarding sharing of data are established by the school district. This system provides a visitor badge with a photo image to be worn by all visitors. The system creates a secure log of visitors coming and going from your school buildings. Unlike handwritten logs, visitor logs are now kept electronically on the school's secure server. The school district determines how long to maintain these records. And finally, the goal of FastPass is to keep your children safe, period. We would welcome a chance to show how the system works and welcome any questions that you may have. We do have the system that's set up on the side. Thank you very much.
Okay, at this time, we're going to take any questions regarding FastPass. It will be 25 minutes. If you wish to speak or ask a question, please line up here in the main lobby here, aisle of the cafeteria, and we will take one question and one comment at a time.
Last time I checked, we had 365 listed sex offenders in Bridgeport, not 400, and I just checked it 1 minute ago. My thing is, no parent has ever done anything inside of the school to hurt any child, as far as I know. It's always the children doing something to another child.
unfortunately, like you said, you are correct. We have sex offenders that live across the street, okay? We have different programs in our schools where we have adults coming into our school. We have parents coming into our school. We have delivery people coming into our schools. Our job as parents, as security, is to keep our kids safe, okay? We just want to make sure, that we don't have a registered sex offender walking around our school. What this system does is it will red flag someone who's already on the sex offender list. It's not just about the parents. And that's what this machine is going to do.
The teachers are the ones messing with the kids. Check them.
And there is a process in place for that. This FastPass, what it does, it's not a do-all, catch-all. It's a machine that will hopefully bring into the system so we can identify sex offenders inside the school.
Okay, we're going to take the next question.
Hello, please accept my apologies. I have a little bit of laryngitis. I think everybody should know that Mayor Finch, this gentleman here, Lieutenant Grech, Captain Porter, George Garcia, who's the head of facilities, and when Paul Vallis was here, they have been secretly working on this for a year and a half and never, ever reported it to the Board of Ed. I was chair of the security committee when this grant was submitted, and they never came to even the elected parents in the city to ask their opinion. They already went out and bought 3 of these computer systems before they even disclosed it to the public. Okay. And I want everybody to know that the American Civil Liberties Union, we've been in touch with them, and they issued a press release today that's available on their website. They are coming to Bridgeport to meet with parents to block this. They do believe it's a violation of our civil rights, our constitutional rights, and it's also profiling. And we will be working with them to make sure this is never implemented in a Bridgeport public school. This has nothing to do with stopping sex offenders. I've talked to police officers with over 30 years of service. Our board chair was the former chief probation officer. In her 22 years and a police officer's experience of 30 years, there has never been an incident where a visitor walked in off the street into a school and was arrested or convicted of committing a sexual offense to a child. What this is about is the police department amassing information about everybody who comes into the school. So aunts and uncles, mothers and fathers, grandparents, so they can access it. And I want everybody here to know, we already have 2 police officers who are going to swear to affidavits that this gentleman here has been allowing the Bridgeport Police Department to access Power School to illegally access information about children and adults, which is a violation of constitutional rights. And it's also, they need a subpoena to access school records, and it's violation of federal law called FERPA. And we are going to bring this, do whatever we have to do to stop this. We don't want it.
Next question.
My name is Ernest Newton from the mic. My name is Ernie Newton. I'm former state senator. We know, as people who have been profiled before, that once you open the door, that the police can have access right now. Most people that come into our schools, that's from FedEx, from other places, have a badge already. So they don't need a new badge when they come into our schools. The second point that I really don't understand, that most sex offenders prey on children that are from the age of 5, 10, and up. Why would you implement something like this in a high school when most high school students know how to protect themselves?
Thank you.
So it makes us leery that you would want to start it in the high school where we know sexual predators aren't going to go to a high school before they go to an elementary school for children. I can tell you this, as a person who's fought racial profiling, we have a lot of undocumented immigrants in this city. The Board of Ed has tried to encourage parents to participate in school systems. If this is implemented, I can assure you there are many parents that will not come because of some mistakes they made 20 years ago. So I would hope that the Board of Ed would look at this serious, because you cannot tell me that once the police who are running this system don't have access, then I will sell you bananas, okay, in a zoo. Thank you.
It's a whole lot of shootings, robberies, stick-ups, and what time you have? We need schools security ourselves. At the last Board of Education meeting, I even asked that Steve Nelson be put in charge of school security. The police department y'all can't even straighten out the streets. The streets are not safe. Before you even started talking about, we're gonna do something for the schools, do something about the killing and the shootings in the streets and the robberies. You can't even handle that. Now you're gonna come in here, and remember East Haven a couple of years back? Oh, you decided to profile. This is nothing new. Just moving into Bridgeport. But the last time I checked, we're not living in a police state. We're living in the United States. We're not living in a communist country. We're living, again, in the United States. What you're taking our rights away from us. And you're saying, well, we're going to make sure the sex offenders doesn't get in school. It ain't never happened. Now, for all argument, I would never mess with no kid, or, I'm way above that. But now, if I'm a sex predator, well, you know where I want to go? I think I go to the schools. I think I go to the schools and get into the schools where everybody's going to watch me. And then I got to go through the checkpoint and be metal checked out. And now, why would you even come in and think that when all the kids are out there all over the city, why don't you do this all over the city? How are you going to protect the kids over there? But you just want to do it here? This is Big Brother at its best. And this is discrimination, it's racism, and it's profiling. Now, what we need to do, police officer standing here in the school with a gun. Hands up, don't shoot. This is not a gun in my hand, but believe me, just like I said the last time, if a kid brings a toy gun, a BB gun in the school, first thing you're gonna do is shoot him. You have no rights in the school because you can't even talk to a kid under the age of 18, and you're already violating. So you're gonna come in here and do what you wanna do. Now someone said to me, oh, it's Black Rock School is the one that's pushing this. I said, no, Black Rock can't be pushing this. I said, no way, Black Rock has 300 students. And there's over 20-some thousand kids in the school system. Now Black Rock is saying, well, wait, okay, what's going on here? You mean there's 30 of the kids in Black Rock school system is Hispanic? Oh, could that be the reason? Could that be a reason that, well, once we put this in, then we can get rid of the Puerto Ricans and the little blacks out there, and they can go on back into their little neighborhoods? But that is wrong, because we are the ones that's paying for that school. We're the taxpayers. And there's no way we're going to allow them, if Black Rock want to do it, tell them to privatize the school and do what they want to do. I rest my case.
Thank you. Okay, we have a little over 13 minutes left.
My name's Charles Coviello. I live at 73 Willow Street in Bridgeport. I'm opposed to your fast pass system. A number of reasons. First of all, I'm a taxpayer. I don't see how this is helping us any, and we're spending money. We need to stop spending money on the frills and take care of what we need to take care of within the school system. Secondly, I can't understand who's going to have access to this information. If it's not going to be the police department, then is it going to be the educators, the principal of the school? I wouldn't want the principal of the school to know anything about me or anybody else for that matter, especially if I was an ex-offender, because I would think that that might affect how that might treat my child. That is not the way we should do things. I have been an advocate for ex-offenders in this city for at least 10 years. I feel that what you're doing is you're bumping in on the privacy of people. We have a sex offender website. What the police department should be doing is making sure that the sex offenders that live in the city of Bridgeport register on that website. And if they don't, they should lock them up. They should also be aware that if there is a 2,000-foot limit, that they not be near the school. You know, it's funny, I went on the sex offender website just because I was curious to see what's happening in my neighborhood. And I was totally shocked. In fact, I found out that one of the sex offenders that's registered actually walked into my house one time. They're a neighbor, they were friends of my kids. Every parent should be told in the school system to check the sex offender website. The other thing is that we're so worried about inside the school. My question is what about outside the school? Anybody remember the Bianca case? Well, that was outside the school. Maybe the police department should be focusing on what's happening outside rather than what's happening inside. Maybe the police department should worry about their off-duty officers who say that they're off-duty when a little girl comes up and says somebody bothered them. That's what we need to worry about. Not a pass system to get into the school system. Thank you.
We're going to stick to the time right now. If anyone has any further questions or comments, they're going to be available outside. I'm sorry, I was told what the time is. I'm going to follow the time. I'm sorry, I was told to stick to the time. I'm going to stick to the time. This is not going to be an all-night affair. We'll give every speaker 2 minutes that's standing up to ask a question, because it can't be just preaching and preaching and preaching.
Good evening, everyone. I'm a parent and I'm a taxpayer of the city of Bridgeport. I have a little bit of problem because I don't see any parents on that panel. That's right. And second of all, it should be minority and diverse parents on the panel. My point is safety is very important for our young people. And I applaud everybody or everyone who wants safety in our schools. Fast Pass, to my belief, should not be focused on sex offenders. Fast Pass should be focused on the name of the registration of the school the parent allowed to represent their children if there is a problem to call them or to come to the school. Fast Pass should be for these people whom their names is on the registration form. So when they get to the school, they know they are clear to go inside of the school. And then if it's somebody that shows up, is not part of the person, that person didn't give that name for their children, and I believe in school, parents will be the one going to the school for their children.
That's
so
the exact capability of the system, to be able to put in lists of names of people that are authorized to be children.
yes, and
So
also
it's an important part of it, that it's not about the profile, that's not what it does.
Dealing with sex cases every single day.
And I just want to say, as a family advocate in this district, I come across a lot of cases with sexual abuse. And I have yet to come into a case where the child has been victimized in a school setting. But what I will say, as my comment, and please forgive me, this is based behind the shady tragedy, and we all felt it and we all cried. My comment here is this. We all felt for that community, but the children in Bridgeport have experienced the same exact trauma day in and day out. And no one has said, hey, the children in Bridgeport are in crisis. No. When have you seen children suffering with mental health needs go into that kind of situation? No, they are traumatized every day, and I still am waiting for an appropriate response to our children in crisis. This is not an answer. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Maris. I'm a parent, Cesar Battaglia. I actually have a question. Concern is, we want to, to get the backgrounds of all the parents, but I just went on Facebook, just to go on Facebook, and NBC just reported that a substitute teacher is accused of having sex with a student in a classroom on her first day of working there. So don't these teachers go through extensive background search, criminal background searches? How is it that you're starting off with the parents and not the people who are supposed to be keeping our kids safe?
If I may, the point hasn't been driven home enough. This system does not run criminal background checks.
So how would you know if they're registered sex offenders?
That's a fair question.
So how would you know?
That's public information.
Do you know how many registered sex offenders are not registered in Bridgeport and pick up their child here at the school? I once went on a registered sex offenders list at the beginning of this school year and found a man picking his daughter up every single day from this school. The school didn't even know, and he was registered on the sex offenders list.
I understand. If this
So,
system was
how
in
does it
place,
work?
that would have been picked up
That's not the
immediately.
point. Don't the school make sure that our kids are safe before they even get dropped off? Aren't they supposed to make sure that before anybody comes in the door, yes, that's something that's supposed to happen with the system, but isn't that supposed to be happening before we even get a system that's like that? Like, isn't that supposed to already be in place? Like, I'm sure it's in place in Stanford, in Greenwich. Why not in Bridgeport? Is it in Stratford? Stratford's right next to us. Like, shouldn't we already know this? Shouldn't we already be warned before we get the system installed?
That's an unbelievably daunting task. This system could simplify that. If I could, please, just give me a moment. Don't be adversarial, if you please. What we're trying to do, we're trying to identify vendors, substitute teachers, contractors, construction workers, volunteers. To the gentleman's point, delivery people, they wear ID. That's true. But don't you want to know who that person is? I certainly would. Tutors. How would you know if a person's a tutor? Visitors to athletic or art events. Prospective students and their parents. Visitors. If I was a teacher in a school and I saw an individual walking down the hall that I knew wasn't a teacher, I didn't know who that individual was, I would like to be able to see that he has a visitor pass, that he was checked in, that his photo matches him. That would put me at ease, as opposed to an individual who's just wandering the school. I live on Long Island. I've seen it. This system is prevalent in Long Island. It's in Jersey. It's what the parents want to keep their children safe. Does it check criminal history? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Where does the information stay? Here at the school. Do the police have access to that information? Not at all. Not at all. Thank you. I have 4 boys. Okay, I have 4 children myself. So I feel your pain.
Okay, I noticed, as years come by, I have 4 kids. All the sexual offending has been done by teachers that I know. In schools, everything you see on TV is usually a teacher seducing a child, or in that sense. But that's not why I'm here. The reason I'm saying is people that are on that sex offender list should not. There's a person personally that I know that shouldn't even be on that list. Okay, there's sometimes a situation in people's life that happened that had not to do sexual, that it was an intricate, whatever it was, that
because then they can meet with the principal or the superintendent of the school and have their name added so it doesn't come up whenever they come into the school. This is what allows you to be able to clarify things. You can create whitelists, blacklists of people that should or should not be in the school. So it really overcomes all of those objections that you would normally have. It just makes it a simpler system. Normally when somebody comes into a school, they still have to sign in. It's no different information other than the fact that it can do that check on the sex offender database. It's the only difference to it. And the school can put in names of people that should or should not be in the school, whether it's through a custody issue or other things. That's the only thing to make this simplified system so that people don't make mistakes.
Okay, but usually when the kids start school, there's a form that we fill out that we give permission to certain people to come to pick up our
But
children.
how would that person at the front door know
Well,
that name?
first of all, when they walk in this door, they're supposed to go to the office. Once they go to the office to sign in, the person that's getting the paper, getting the signature should check an ID and should verify that that person is
That's
supposed
the
to pick
exact
up.
process. It's just happening in a simpler form.
I know, but see, the thing is, we as parents, we feel like there's a lot of things that people have done in the past. I've been blessed, but there's people that have done things in the past, and they're afraid that if they come pick up their child, that something might come up. You're saying, no, but how do we know? How do we know that they won't?
I'm telling you, really. You can believe me or you can't. This system does not check criminal history. It just doesn't, folks.
Okay, we've added 11 extra minutes onto this session. It's going to be the last 11 minutes, and then we need to move on.
Okay, I'm going to be very brief. My name is Alicia Thompson. I'm a parent at Fairchild Wheeler. My son attends there. He's a teenager. He's in the 10th grade. And I'm also the PAC president there for the IT school. And I felt like somebody literally kicked me in between the rib cage because I didn't learn about this from the principals at the school. I've been very involved with the school, and to hear about it on the news and then go to the meeting the other night on Tuesday with the district pact, I don't know what to say about that. So let me just quickly get to my question. So my question is, you mentioned that it's already implemented in Darien, and was it Killingworth or Killingly? Okay. And what's in terms of the benchmarks, is there any benchmarks, outcomes, or any things that have to be met?
Just so you know, this is, there's 20 different brands of system. FastPass is just a brand. It's coming out of Florida. So there's 20 different brands. We're familiar with FastPass being in those other schools, but I guarantee you it's in hundreds of school districts and thousands across the country. This has become a best practice that schools do, especially after Sandy Hook. A lot of schools have taken a very, very serious look at better ways
Okay, so
to
I'm sorry, I'm not cutting you off. So did Darien and Killingworth implement it after Sandy Hook, or did they have it before Sandy Hook?
We didn't do it as a company, so I don't know. Other companies sell the product, so I don't know if that's.
Okay, all right, so I guess I'll do that research on my own. But
And we can find other schools that do use the system, because there's probably plenty more in Connecticut that we're just not aware of.
I'm honestly opposed to it. I'm just going to say that right off the bat. I mean, I think what we have already in place, as the lady mentioned, I wrote it down on here as well. There's already a registration form that you can fill it out during the year. There's a visitor pass. It's green. I think every school has one. When you go in, you stick it on your chest, you show your ID, and you pick up your kid, or whoever you send there to pick your kid up, then they just show the ID. So I'm really opposed to it. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Albert Benehan, the District Bilingual Secretary of Bridgeport. Soy el señor Albert Benehan, Secretario Bilingüe del Distrito de Bridgeport. Really, guys, you're going to spend $7,000 for each machine. We got 37 schools. You really buy 3. We got 34 left. That's $259,000. Plus $50,000 annual fee. Plus papers, ink, and everything. It's going to go like a $320,000 for you guys. You say about the school, need to check who's coming, who's not coming, all right? That's the city's paying for it, so they can check who's can pick up the child or not. Because this school have a very good security, because I already sent someone to see if they doing the job, and believe me, they be doing the job. They say, no, you can pick up your brother-in-law. Very good, he did a very good job, but that's her job, that's the office job. Not spend too much money, because right now, a lot of schools, this school needs to fix cameras. Basic need to be fixed. So many schools, we have hiring, we got, parents, leaders, staff. You know what your school need, right? A lot of schools need to be fixed. So it's not fair, we're gonna spend over $320,000 because the security thing. And you see this? No, it's my minute. You see this? You see this, parents? We have this for over 20, 30 years, right, Ingreso? And we never got a problem. And we can see it. Why we need to spend $320,000? What, using the money for the kids? When they need it for the teachers, we need it for the staff, we need more security, we need so many things. It's not fair.
Sir, if I may.
The net cost for the school district is $1,200. A lot of this was funded by grants after Sandy Hook.
Okay, we have our next question. We have to keep it moving.
Well, it's more of an observation than a comment. My name is Karen Jackson. I have 3 children that go here, just as a battalion. And what I attend the community meetings. So I hear how much money is being spent. $1.3 million was set aside for cameras around the school, and the police department has no idea where it is. So I have personally contacted OIG, which is the Office of the Inspector General, that gives out those grants. So they can question the Bridgeport Police Department and ask them what happened to those funds. But now you want to come with a machine that costs over $300,000 to protect our children, and I believe is not to protect our children, is to compile names, send it to the Homeland Security, arrest who you have to arrest. But the majority of our parents here are people from other countries. However they got here, they're here, and their children are here. And we're going to take care of them. So they come to pick up their children, so they'll be alienated. And the mayor said it about 2 years ago when they were trying to stop us from voting for the Board of Education. He said that Bridgeport is made up of people who have felonies, they're immigrants, and they're ignorant. And this is what I'm paraphrasing, but that's what he basically said. That's why he took it to the Supreme Court to stop us from voting for our Board of Education. So just because on that basis alone, there is no need for this system. The teachers here protect the children. I love this school. And all the schools that I teach in, because I'm a sub. So I go in the other schools, I see what goes on. And the teachers protect those children. Where you going? When you come back, take a pass, come here. I see it. So I see the guards, and the guards and the office staff knows the parents, and they clock you. So I don't see the need of this machine. It's a corporation capitalistic game.
Thank you, Mayor. If I could, just to lend clarity to the numbers, we have a lot of numbers flying around, 7,000, 300,000. This is where the rubber meets the road. This system costs $6,200, but there's grant monies. Once you apply the grant monies, this system costs less than $1,200. So you people are very good at doing your research. Follow the research. That's what it's at.
We're going to go to the next question. We gave some extra time. It's not time to yell out.
My question is this. If this was such a good idea, why did you try to sneak it through the back door? Why weren't the parents told about this? Why weren't the people on the Board of Education getting the opportunity to express their views about it? In fact, every time I see a controversial issue like this, I don't even look at the issue anymore. I just look at the names of the people who approve of it and who sponsor it. Everybody here is concerned about the profiling, but I know there's a dollar and cents perspective here too. I know there's a dollar and cents initiative going on here as well. Matter of fact, every time I see one of those names on the bottom, red flags go up. Matter of fact, when I see the name Kenneth Moulds, green flags go up, because I know what this is all about. This is about dollars and cents, and you don't want what you're selling. Thank you very much.
Terry Boyle, District 5 President. Can I ask all my parents, grandparents, aunts, and uncles that walk in a Bridgeport public school system every day to stand up, please?
13 years as a parent volunteer. I walk into numerous buildings, day in, day out. I fight every day to get my parents, grandparents, and anybody that's active in the children's education to get them into the building. Now, you guys are gonna come into our city, tell us what we need, and take our parents out of the building, not over us, you know. I'm appalled that this has been in the works for over a year and a half, and I have been in a district level representing, and it has never been brought to the attention of us as the only parent organization that is recognized by the Board of Education in this school. So we feel very disrespected that this was done under the table when it's gonna affect us as parents. I don't have a record, and honestly, I don't care who has a record. People make mistakes, they clean them. They already paid their debt to society. They've been to jail, they did their time. They should not be held accountable for it when they hit these streets and are trying to do right by their children. There's criminal systems out there that are trying to help parents get back into the system and get their kids where they need to be. Now, you guys are gonna come in here and try to identify them. I don't care what anybody on this board says, and says, oh, you have the capability to access anything. The city was the one who implemented this. You really think that we're that naive, that they're not gonna access our data? Why do they need it? For what?
They will not access your
I
data.
didn't ask you any questions. Then, you're gonna sit there. We have, Bridgeport Public School is an open door policy made by the Bridgeport Board of Education. Now, we're not gonna allow anybody to sit there and dictate who and what is gonna be able to walk into the building. We have protocols, we have policies that protect our children, and as parents, we're gonna stand by that, and we're gonna stand strong, and we oppose this system, and it will not go in our Bridgeport Public School system.
Next question.
How you doing? First of all, I just want to say thank you for this opportunity to speak to you guys. My name is Noe Castro, and first, I see that this system, I can see the intent behind the system. I understand the vision, but it's not a system that I believe is appropriate for our school system. I do apologize about that. I'm very big about safety. I'm big about concern. As I have a little child myself, I want to know who's coming to my school and what teachers teaching my child. And I do background checks my own. I Google them because I'm a responsible parent. That's what I do. Because I want to know what's going on with my child at all times. But I believe that the people who have access to this system is what's being questioned. Because, to be honest, if this system is attached to, I believe, the NCIC. Okay, yes, okay, because I was looking at the flyer up here. They were saying that it has the capability of doing a criminal check. If I believe the only thing in our system, in the law enforcement system, the only thing that can do criminal checks is the NCIC system. If I'm correct, am I correct, sir? All right. So that's my concern because I have civilians looking at people's personal stuff, which I believe is a violation of Privacy Act 1973. So that's a big concern for me. And to me, this is how we should approach it. All right, if I could come with a solution, just so you guys could think about it. If individuals come into the